Hi everyone, welcome back to The Shelves Have Eyes. I'm Fantom, and today I'll be doing an unboxing of the MGA Miniverse Harry Potter Wizarding World Potions Classroom. So let's take a look and see what all the fuss is about, shall we? So first, the box is very nice. It's got the exact same image on the front and back. The sides just have some close-ups of detail from the potion classroom. This one gives you an idea of what's included in the box. So there are over 100 pieces here. It looks like we'll be grouting our own walls and floor, and apparently inlaying the glass into the windows. And it does come with one project, which I don't know what it is yet, but we will certainly find out what it is as we go. So let's take a look. As you open the box, there are 3 trays. So this is tray 1, which has the potions class furniture and then the instructions for making the potion itself. This one is the walls of the potion classroom and instructions. And I'm going to assume that this is the floor. Yes, potions classroom floor. So just a pamphlet was included that just includes how to play with resin. Read me first. How to use glue and potion tips. Let's take a look and see. There's glue involved in this. You have to glue the walls to the floor, glue the windows into the window frames, and then there are just these general potion tips down here. That's interesting. It's under potion powder pearls. It says for more color or simmering effect, crush more pearls or add more powder into your potion. The more powder you add to your potion, the longer you will need to set it in direct sunlight or UV light. Potion placement, etc. This seems fairly standard. All right, so how about we start with the floor? Because that seems like a good place to start. So here we have the floor grid, instructions on placing the floor, and all of these pieces are very clearly perforated. So hopefully this will go by quickly, and we'll be able to refer to these directions as we go instead of tearing everything. Okay, so this is giving you a good idea of the size of the classroom. This is the entire floor along with the inset panels to put the walls, and they are all numbered. Very nice. It's kind of in that classical font that they use for all of the Harry Potter text. Clearly you want to cover these up because otherwise you're just going to be walking around on numbers. And there is this is compressed plywood. And we have the adjoining pieces for the walls. It's nice. So up here we have a potion bucket. We have a floor grouting tool. We have a larger bucket, which apparently has the mortar to affix the items to. And we have these cute little crates that have the planks for the floor. That's an interesting little detail. I appreciate that. It's as if we're truly constructing a room. So I like that for immersive play. So if this is a mortar bucket, what's in here? Nothing? Is this just empty? It's just empty. This could either be waste bucket or maybe just like a privy bucket. Who knows? We'll find out. All right, so here we have our little grid, and we have our little tiles and our bucket of mortar and our little tool to do the grouting. Let's take a look here and get started. All right, so looking at the directions, it looks like each one of these panels is individually numbered. Oh, that's very cute. There's little bits of hay here to make sure that they don't jostle around a bit. That's really cute. That's a really nice little detail. I'm happy that they did that. It really goes a long way for immersion in this set. All right, so it looks like each one of these tiles is individually numbered, and they want you to put the numbers down on the place marked. So they say to do this in numerical order. I mean, I can't see a reason why not to, but also I don't really see a reason to do it, but we'll do it anyway. All right, so they say to use this glue sparingly and to push each tile flush against the other, which, I mean, why wouldn't you? That seems kind of like a silly thing. Also, they don't mention whether you should use the grout side to make an irregular edge to push the tiles down on. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but we'll take a look. So it says, remove the seal. Oh, that is definitely glue. Wow. All right. So this is glue. I'm being a bit of a cheddar head. It said to put these stops in to make sure that you can put the walls in afterwards. So let me just put that really quickly in there. I don't say how much to put on just to apply glue. So I don't know how much is going to be too much. And I also don't know if we need to use this pot of glue also for the walls. But, I mean, we'll see. All right, let's open up our next box. Here's an interesting bit. They give you two 20s. So I presume that one of these is supposed to be 12, but it doesn't fit. It's 21, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. So they gave me two 20s instead of a 20 and a 12. That's interesting. You want to talk about an irregular floor? We just made ourselves an irregular floor. Let's see how long this takes to dry now. I'm going to replace the cover on the canister of glue. This is made out of a rubberized plastic, not a hard plastic, so it does kind of, you push it down to seal it. So let's see if that prevents it from drying out too quickly. Here's the instructions, and it says it's going to take 60 minutes to dry. So now that we have placed these, I'm going to take the arch stays out, and we'll wait 60 minutes and come back. Okay, so here we have the next step. As we're waiting for the floor to dry, we also have to construct the walls, and they are also going to take an hour to dry. So let's just do everything and then come back to it after appropriate time is in. So we have the wall pieces with Hogwarts crest on them. It's very nice. They're blank on the other side. We have the arch pieces, which are, I presume, going to be grouted down. The other side, we have another little box. This one will have the tile pieces. We have 4 stained glass windows, or just glass windows, really. We have 2 arches, halves of arches, actually, it looks like. A little grouter. And another pot of glue. So you got 2 pots of glue. I mean, I guess they really are counting on people either being very sloppy or people putting way too much glue in. Not really quite sure which, but, well, we'll see. These will also be usable too, because the little pots are going to dry out, and I believe they're removable. All right, so part 1 seems to just be construction of the walls. You got a front and a back. These are the fronts. These are the backs. Let's do one. So apparently we start on the back, and we start by inlaying the glass windows. Now this is actually interesting because they are textured on one side and not on the other. So I don't know whether the texture is supposed to go on the outside or the inside. I'd assume the texture goes on the outside, because windows usually have like this wrought iron texture on the outside of the windows rather than the inside of the windows. Does that sound right? I'm going to put them with the textured side out, facing out. You are supposed to put them with the textured side facing in because there's a little bit of a bevel on the two pieces and they will not go the opposite direction. So they took that completely out of your hands. And these are very simple. You just push them in. Little bits of sprue though on the edges of the plastic. So let's do the same with the other panel. So now let's start with the walls. So one wall is already constructed. I guess to give you an example of what it's supposed to look like. But that means you need to take all these panels out to glue them all in. So it's kind of a silly step to make, but this is how they want us to do it. So our third little twined box. Inside we have more of this super cute hay. And here we have all of the pieces that we're going to have to glue into the other window in terms of placement. Let's start just by putting glue on all of the spaces and then see where we go from there. Some of these spaces are very narrow, so you will just need to tap some glue into them or smear it in using the little edges of each piece in order to get some into those spaces. Frankly, I'm just a little surprised that they wouldn't use something similar to Suguru, the silicone glue that dries moldable. I'm just kind of surprised that they wouldn't have used a different material other than this very watery glue. Because Suguru dries super quickly, and this seems like it's going to take an hour. And both of them hold very well, but maybe that's a price issue. Maybe Suguru glue is just too expensive. Or something of its ilk is just not cost effective for MGA to pump out mini sets with. I don't know. But unlike the floor, we are filling these little cavities with glue. Now that I know I don't need to conserve any glue for anything else in the set, we'll just go hog wild, let's just say. The hay is really cute, but the hay is also all over these pieces. So you have to flick away stray hairs of straw, which I guess adds to the realism of it, but it's kind of annoying in the doing, so to speak. That is all of the tile pieces in, so we've got to wait for these tile pieces to dry. Oh, see, look at that. Now we need to do it all over again. Some of these pieces are really stuck in there. One thing I do appreciate is the fact that the Latin inscribed on the arch itself is not the same for both, so it's not a carbon copy. They actually did take the time to put something different. I guess I need my pot of glue again. I cleaned my trowel for nothing. They definitely give you enough. This is definitely a lot of glue that they're giving you. So you should have more than enough to do everything. You should have more than enough to cover every single crevice of both the walls and the floor and have all of the glue gush out and overflow and still have enough to complete the entire project. I'm going to have these little chamber pots left over for, you know, when Hogwarts students need to relieve themselves before Hogwarts put in indoor plumbing. Yes, did you know that J.K. Rowling, she who must not be named, made a very pointed comment stating that Salazar Slytherin's entrance to the Chamber of Secrets did not used to be in a girl's lavatory. The lavatory was built afterwards, to which enterprising minds asked, well, what did they do before that? And, I mean, you probably would think something more like chamber pots. Or, I mean, Hogwarts was a medieval castle, So maybe they had gravity toilets, like some castles actually did in the Middle Ages. But nope. Rowling replied that these students just went wherever they were and then used Evanesco to get rid of whatever was left and cleaned their clothes with magic. So, that makes perfect sense. So here's the second finished arch. Okay, so it looks like I may have been a cheddar head again, because looking at the directions, it seems like you are not supposed to glue the tiles into these arches until you have glued the arches to the walls. So I'm just going to do it in slightly reverse order, but I don't think we'll have any problem. Now, it says that you should glue on these indicated areas, which are just the raised brickwork on the back of the arch. So I'm just going to do that real quick. There are also little posts here that go into the wall, so I don't think we need to use terribly much of this glue. It fits very snugly. Oh, looks like this glue is not finished drying either. Still got some spurts here. Well, like Snape, we'll just blame them on level long bottom. Okay, so the last point is just to put these little pillars in the windows. No glue required. They just plug in with stalks. 2 pillars. All set. So here's the real meat of the set. Here's the furniture that we get to construct, and then it gives you instructions on how to put together the classroom, and then how to make the potion that is included in the set. It does not tell us what the potion is, just potion. Let's open it up. Maybe there's a label on the bottle itself that might give us a clue as to what the potion that we are going to be making is. Look at this. The planks are tied with twine. That is super cute. That's such a nice detail. It's weird that so much thought is going into this set, when clearly not enough thought went into the packaging. Potion bottles. Don't know what this is. It doesn't tell you. Some kind of ingredient. Sparkles. Who knows? Just sparkles. Every single one is sparkles. Oh, look. More sparkles. This is label and cord fiber color, for whatever that means. Little skulls. Little human skulls? They look like little human skulls. I'm not actually sure what to make of that one. Stones of varying colors. An herb or a plant stem, some kind of weed or leaf. A beaker of some kind of plant matter. Looks like fiber inside, like thread. And more tag and cord fiber color. Pouring vessel and a little funnel. Oh, a couple of funnels and a little pestle. Not obviously for this, but for this. A little mortar and pestle. Not made out of glass, made out of plastic. A little bottle with a cork. Very cute for your finished potion that we don't know what it is yet. A little jar for liquid ingredients. A set of 2 pearls. The instructions say that these are what's going to add shimmer to your potion. You have to crush them in the mortar and pestle and then dump them into your potion to create an iridescent effect. That's actually really well thought out. I wouldn't have thought that they would have done that. One would think that they would just give you ready-made powder or glitter or something. But it's well thought out. The little stand is very cute. It even says Hogwarts on it. Tongs. Fairly standard. We've got a spoon and a stirring jigger. We have 2 candlesticks, if I can get them out. Oh, 2 pieces. 2 pieces. They're molded so that you can only put them in one way. There's little candles. Because when you're making a potion, what you need right beside you is a source of fire. I feel like Snape would have something to say about that. Then again, probably not, because he wants to see his students get horribly burned or suffer explosions. All right, we have a little heating vessel with a cover, a little pot. And then we have a cauldron and a stand. Going to assume that inside this cauldron is resin. Very cute. Looks very much like wrought iron, painted that way. It's a nice dry brush effect. I'm fairly impressed with the pieces here. Also, there's a little stand here for your heating vessel. Over here we have 4 legs to the table. Another 4, I guess these are the pieces for the shelves. These are the shelves themselves. And then the top of the table. All right, so let's construct the furniture. So the way these are designed, there is only one way to do this, so. And there you go. So 1 table, 2 sets of shelves. The shelves are very nice. They've got the Hogwarts logo insignia on them. But whatever. More space to put things in this set. Okay, so the instructions for these potions, they list blank or blank. So you can either make a pink potion or a teal potion, because they intend for you to use the entirety of the resin in this cauldron. And it almost just looks like water in the instructions, but I'm trying to get the resin to take a look. This is clearly where the resin is. It's got the warning label and everything. But turning it doesn't really seem to be accomplishing anything. This is not moving. I can't get this off. How are you supposed to take this off? You don't pull it off, and it is turning. The instructions give you no idea how to do this. Just open it, pour the stuff inside, mix it, and then make it. But how am I supposed to open this if I have no idea how this opens? Do I need to get a knife? Do I need to pry this open? Do I need to cut this open? What is the issue here? There doesn't seem to be any tool they're giving you to help you with this. And I've been turning this thing in a counterclockwise direction this entire time, and it doesn't seem to be opening up or loosening or what. And this is hard plastic, so I can't squeeze it to squeeze the cap off. This is maddening. How am I supposed to do this? So after all of that, the cap just comes off. The cap just comes off because what I was turning was the interior pot piece that's in the hard cauldron outside that holds all the resin. So I essentially was going through all of that for absolutely nothing instead of just popping this lid off. Except, there are 3 different lips here to the plastic, so I would have had no idea which one to pull, which one to get my finger underneath in order to pop the top of the lid off. So happened that while trying to shove this in to get this thing open, that the lid popped off. So thanks, Miniverse. Thanks a lot. So irritating. All right, so let's get to assembly. It didn't specify which wall goes where, so I'm just going to put whatever wall I like in whatever slot I like. Nice isometric view. According to the picture, these little stands go here. So there's just a big blank space in the corner, apparently. So I'm just going to stack these crates here because otherwise there's no purpose to that corner at all. Because we're going to put this table right here. And apparently one of these crates goes underneath the table. So we'll just stack all of our crap in the corner. All constructed. You just get 2 walls, 2 bookcases, a table, 3 crates, 2 enormous privies, and a chamber pot, along with all of the potion ingredients. About those potion ingredients, these are the instructions for making the potion that comes with the set. And once again, it's an or situation. So you can make the pink one or the teal one. I don't know about you, but that kind of decision pisses me off. So I'm going to have the amount of resin in this cauldron and make both of them. Make half bottles of both of them. And we'll see how this all works out. Every single one of these bottles opens for some purpose that sometimes is not clearly indicated. I mean, I don't think some of this stuff is really even that necessary. You know what would be necessary? A little piece of play flame to put underneath your cauldron. It's just very empty back there, underneath there. How am I supposed to pretend to cook anything? I'm going to be destroying this classroom in just a moment because I realize I'm putting all of these ingredient bottles on the shelves when I'm going to need to take them out to make the potion, or at least some of them. So this is temporary at best. Also, the instructions for the potion do not actually indicate which ingredient you are supposed to use. It just gives you the vague outline of a shape of a bottle, and then rough shape of what the item you're supposed to be cooking is. So, like, I don't know what that means. Like, what does that mean? Very laissez-faire kind of approach to a craft project if the instructions themselves don't provide you any kind of idea what you're supposed to be doing. So you really couldn't make any kind of potion you want. You could mix any kind of this crap in a thing, and the instructions certainly don't tell you what potions you're making. Given the fact that none of the bottles are marked, it's also kind of impossible to know what any ingredient is. I'm really confused about the tiny acid green baby skulls in this little urn over there. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. They don't look like rat skulls or anything. There's two different kinds of glitter. Well, what's the difference other than the color? They give you some crushable pearls, which is a very interesting concept here. You take these and you crush them in the mortar and pestle, and they create a scintillating powder in your potion. But there's a blue one and there's a purple one. So I guess really for any of these projects, you decide what you're going to make and what ingredients you're going to use, because the instructions aren't going to tell you anything. So make whatever you want to make it look however you want it to look, and you've just got a place to make the rest of the Harry Potter potion sets. All right, so we're going to get started on I'm going to do both of these projects. Like I said, I'm going to cut the amount of resin in half that's inside the cauldron. I'm just going to move this table out of the way so that I can grab the ingredients that apparently I'm going to need for this project from the shelves. So I am going to need whatever this pink sparkly powder is, apparently. And I'm going to need this teal powder. I'm apparently going to use these little glitter balls. You know what? We're just going to take everything off the shelves. Just everything off the shelves. These recipes call for everything. So let's just not waste time. So let's start just by taking off the cap correctly. And I'm going to split the amount of resin that's in this cauldron in two and put half of it here so we can make both projects. Doesn't really matter to me if I've got a full bottle of potion or not. Oh, okay. Well, that didn't come off nearly as cleanly as one would think. There's a good amount of resin in there. Looks about right. I mean, it's not going to be so tall in the cauldron. I think that looks about right. The first instruction is for the pink potion, and you want to talk about imprecise. Any potions master would have serious misgivings about these instructions, because it's basically pour until you don't want to pour anymore. MGA really believes in sealing everything. You know, it's not for kids, as I'm sure whatever lawsuits came their way regarding the previous. So there's red powder in here. The instructions don't tell you how much to put in. It says 2 puffs, or that's what the illustration says, but I have no idea what that actually equates to. I assume if we put too much in, it's just going to be too brightly pink, but we are also making half of the amount. So let's just do taps. There you go, 2 taps of, I'm going to presume this is just pigment. And then we've got to put some of these little radioactive tiny human skulls in. Where does one get tiny radioactive looking human skulls? I don't remember seeing these in the Harry Potter movies or mentioned in the books. Man, nothing with the set is easy, huh? Is it just this set or is it just every MGA product? Okay, so little radioactive baby heads. It says 4. You know, I want to save some baby heads for the next time, so I'm just going to put in a couple. I don't want to use all of them. There's a lot of sprue on these baby heads. They're not actually separate things. I think that was probably not intended. Nah, it's too small. I'm not going to break my fingers trying to get the sprue off of that. So, stir. So we've got these little skulls, and we're stirring. And apparently put some kind of hair in. That's what it looks like. Do I have a little jar of hair here to be used? Red hair, it says, but that doesn't look like the... Oh, here it is. These little frost white jobbies here. I don't really quite know what these are supposed to be. Feathers? Some kind of... I don't know. But we have to peel away another sticker in order to get at them. And apparently we're going to use this large decanter for the pink potion. So let's just move that off to the side. I'm going to cover that so that doesn't happen again. I have real butterfingers today. Butterfingers? Dennis, our lives are in your hands, and you've got butterfingers? Doesn't say once again how much, so I'm just going to put a couple of strands in there. Thing is, this is really just cast off plastic. It's not even molded to be in the shape of anything. It's just plastic. That's apparently it for this potion. For this potion, the instructions are just put the threads into the bottle, put the acid green baby heads into the liquid, and then pour. And that's it. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything else. It's a very, very Robitussin-y pink. I think I want to add a little bit more of that pigment. Yeah, we've got kind of like a watermelon Jolly Rancher kind of color here. All right, so let's get a little funnel and let's see if this will actually pour or not. Because that's always the question, isn't it? I mean, this resin seems really thick. And I may have made a miscalculation in putting it in this little stirring cup. So I have a feeling like there's going to be a lot of resin stuck to this. But I'm going to try to get everything I can out. Thankfully, the opening to the funnel is large enough for the baby heads to go in. If not, I'll just push them down. Oh, nope, they got stuck. Oh, nope, miscalculation. Okay, there we go. Oh, those baby heads, man. Not really quite sure whether adding more resin would have done anything to this. In terms of making it look more impressive, I don't really think a whole bunch of disparate ingredients suspended in resin really is that awe-inspiring of a look, but I don't know. It's interesting at least. All right, so they suggest putting it on its side to make it look as though the ingredients are suspended rather than, you know, just sitting at the bottom of the vessel. So anyway, I think I'm going to cure it like this, and I'm going to use my wife's special 365 nanometer black light. And let's see how quickly this works, shall we? I can't really do a tap test because obviously it's inside of a vessel. But it does not seem to be oozing. Is it, or is that just the scintillating of the powder inside? Yeah, it is. It's oozing just a little bit. Big old air bubble in there. Or did that air bubble just open up as I was curing? You know what? The world may never know. So from this angle, it looks like a jolly good potion of acidic skulls and some scintillating white plastic root. Obviously the entire thing is empty. So yeah, you know, not really like head over heels about this particular project. The resin is still expanding then. Oh, actually, it does feel warm to the touch. All right, well, we'll just set this off to the side for right now while it cools, and I will make the second one, which hopefully will be a lot better than the first. Now, the difference here is I can't actually see inside the cauldron. The cauldron is so dark that I'm just going to have to guess how much powder to put in order to make it an appropriate color. So I don't know what will or will not be an appropriate color. Let's do the first step in the instructions, which is to crush these little scintillating pearls in the mortar and pestle. Once again, none of these bottles are labeled. They all just have these little sparkles on the label. So I have no idea what these ingredients are. And the instructions do not tell you either. So it also doesn't tell you how many to put in here. They say they put 9 in. I'm not going to use up the whole thing. That would just be ridiculous. That would be a poor conservation of ingredients, wouldn't it? I think Professor Slughorn might have something to say about that. This is just candy. This is just that weird old candy, the Sixlets or something. They were like M&Ms, except there was no chocolate on the inside. It was just candy all the way through. I don't know how finely they want me to try to break this up with this plastic pestle. I think maybe fragments are okay. I mean, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I'm not really expecting this to be the greatest looking thing ever. So if the first potion recipe was any indication, I'm going to walk away from these potions very underwhelmed, let's just say. I'm very happy with the rest of the set. I really enjoyed constructing the potion classroom. And I like the quality of all of the accoutrements. And there's a very nice attention to detail for the most part, except when it came to everything relating to actually making a potion. None of these bottles are labeled. The instructions are extraordinarily vague. You can't see inside the cauldron. So you have no idea what color anything is going to be until you actually pour it out. So there are some severe issues I have with that particular aspect of the set. So we have all of our little powdered pearls here. So I'm going to dump those in. Okay. And it says to put in this teal dust because the water on the inside of the cauldron is clear. Stir, it says. I'll use my little stirring rod here. Spoon. It's like making slime or soap. I mean, it looks like it's a pretty decent color. It just looks like shampoo, but we'll see. Maybe these little stones we're going to put into the jelly are going to make this really pop. I don't know. I like the fact that the corks are actually little corks. They are not plastic. They are actual cork. Oh, okay, yep, they're actual corks. That says 3. Well, there's 2 different colors in here, so it's going to be anyone's guess what color is actually going to fall in. Oh, they did 4. Oh, well. I'm agonizing about it. And then something in here. Looks like something in here. Doesn't tell you which color. They give you a purple and they give you a blue. I like purple, so I'll probably do the purple. I don't know if that's going to go with the color of the teal, but we'll see. It just says it looks just like a shower. I'm not going to pour the whole thing in. That would just be wasteful. There we go. Half. I feel like even half is too much. And then hair. Hair in a jar somewhere. Where's the hair in a jar? I mean, the other one looked like hair. This one looks like hair. I guess green goes in here. I don't know. The instructions are so vague as to be utterly unhelpful. This gillyweed? Oh, no, it's actual. It's yarn. It's just thread. Thread of yarn here. All that. Yep. Just shove that in there. No regard. Just get it in there. Oh, see? Just trying to shove it in there and you just can't get it in there. And the process of taking these things out of this jar just causes them to straighten. Oh my God in heaven, what is going on here? This is not just me. This is not a Fantom can't do anything kind of like supercut here. This is, these items are just very difficult to use and to apply in the way that the instructions are telling you. Alright, so my crazy crap is in the Erlenmeyer flask here, and my potion of crushed up pearls, pigment, and stones is ready. So I guess I use my other funnel, and I just pour it in. See how well this works. Get down there. Get down there. You want a baby skull. The spoon is actually less effective than the toothpick because it is considerably shorter. But I think we've got almost everything out. This is what it looks like after you've decanted it into this flask. Let's do what the instructions say, though, and let's put it on its side so that the ingredients kind of disperse in a suspension, or at least what appears to be a... Oh, there's no way to do that. There's no way to do that. The little pearl beads in the inside of it have just fallen to the bottom. There's no way to get them onto the side unless you actually go in there with a tool, which I am going to do. That impressive. I'm sure somebody is going to say in the comments, well, you did everything wrong. It's like, well, I am doing this as the instructions said. I mean, I went into this knowing that it was just going to be a bunch of strange fake things put into the bottom of a bottle with some kind of colored resin. So even with those expectations for this set, I'm still underwhelmed. But you know what? I'm not going to paint the entire Miniverse Harry Potter line with this brush just because I believe that the little standalone capsules that you get in stores have a lot more going on with them. So I don't know. We'll have to check. But I'm not terribly impressed with whatever this is that I've just made. Did I even make anything? I just put things together. I don't know, it's like saying you made a bowl of soup when you just opened a can and heated up the soup. Did you really make that? Did you really make a potion just by putting a bunch of things into a vessel and then that were supposedly magical? Don't know. It's like the ship of Theseus all over again. It's a really good point. How do you know when this is actually set?
At this point, I would assume it is. I mean, what you do afterwards is you give them both to me and I put them under my light and let them sit under one of the chef hats, so that they can cure all the way through in my little apparatus. But at this point, you shouldn't have to worry about it. You shouldn't have had to worry about it with that for a little while. Like my milk, do you know what I mean, would have been fine by now.
No, it's still moving.
Is it?
You see it?
No, I'm not staring too, but... Oh, is it? It is!
Yeah, it is.
Whoa.
So I can't tell if this one's done yet, but, I mean... It's said that the more crushed up pearls you put in, the longer it's going to take to cure. So, yeah. What do you think? It looks like a flask of aquarium is painted by Pablo Picasso. It looks as disgusting as the books make potions out to taste. Let's just say that. I mean, those are the two... Here are the two potions that we made with this set. The neon green skulls ended up just kind of becoming antique yellow. Or they just look like limes, with lemons with lemon stems in them. This one is just a mess. Just a mess. I probably screwed up somewhere along the way. But I don't think that all of this can be put down to user error. I think the biggest issue with these sets is simply the fact that you're just dumping things into a liquid and then curing it. I mean, the pigment-wise, that's fine. I mean, people pigment resin all the time. This one, not so much. As soon as you start putting something scintillating in there, especially if the crushed up pearls are supposed to impair the curing time on the item, it's just like, this isn't that great. This isn't that great. I'm pretty unimpressed with the two sets, the potion making that occurred here. I think that the individual elements to this set are really cute, very creative, very imaginative, very detailed. I just think that the directions for the potions are hilariously inept in letting you know exactly what you should be doing. And I feel like they should have given you enough resin to make both sets, not just one. Just for the price of the classroom set is about the same price as the kitchen, which comes with 3 sets. So why are you paying essentially the same amount for something that contains less plastic and only contains one set? There's nothing in here that's terribly expensive in terms of materials. None of this is real wood. It's all just plastic that's molded to be like wood. Yes, there's thread or hay on the inside of all of these crates, but I mean, I don't think that that's going to raise a price so precipitously. You could point to the actual ingredients themselves, saying, well, all of these things in such minuscule versions must be expensive to produce. And that might very well be the case. But for the cost of this Harry Potter classroom, you really wanted to make more than just one. And I don't like the fact that it made you choose. Also, I don't think that either of these would have come out any better had I used all of the resin. It really was just a chance to see how the process is going to look for the two of them. So yeah, I don't think either of these potions have finished curing yet. I think they still need a little bit more time. The first layer is definitely done, but I can still see a little bit of movement on the inside, so I'll finish curing them. But I can't really say that I'm terribly impressed with the make it part of this set in terms of the actual potions themselves. Making the classroom was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I don't know why they went for that thin glue. I would have liked a much thicker glue or maybe some kind of silicone glue or even just poster tack, something like that, just to make it a little bit easier and less messy. Also, if they had used a thicker glue, then you could have really gone to town on the floor and had that grout effect come up in between the stones, whereas the instructions almost explicitly tell you not to do that because of the consistency of the glue. I feel like if they had used a different material, that would have actually been something for buying this set. It would be such an interesting detail to do. But yeah, I mean, this set was $25 on Black Friday deal at Target. I have seen people post online finding this for $20 at Walmart for the Black Friday deal. I did not see that price at Walmart, nor online. So I don't know if it's a regional thing or whether only specific days it was active, or maybe it was a flash sale that MGA had. MGA has put different sets on sale at different retailers this year. So you might find it cheaper than $25. I'd say $25 is a pretty good price for it. Just prepare yourself to know you can only make one potion, and just kind of temper your expectations for that potion to come out. Well, I've been Fantom. Thank you very much for joining me for this episode of The Shelves Have Eyes. I'll probably end up doing a couple of other MGA Miniverse capsules, just because I want to see if the Harry Potter potions capsules are any better than the potions projects that were included with this set. And I also have a Lord of the Rings blacksmith capsule that I'd like to take a look at. But thank you very much for taking time to join me and for listening to me babble on about the relative qualities of this set. Thank you very much, and have a great night.